Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the statement that investors have been waiting for the first time since Trump re entered the White House back in January. Jerome Powell is hinting at a rate cut. They have the Fed meeting. The next one is September 17th. And Jerome Powell finally says in a separate meeting, it may actually be time for an interest rate cut. And you can look at Polymarket. The odds were going down a little bit. We were seeing some secondary data that said maybe inflation was a little bit higher than originally reported. And there's going to be another big inflation reading in mid-September before that 17th meeting. But you can see, based off of the recent verbiage of Powell, long at last, we will likely get the cut with, you've got a 50 basis point cut at around a 3% chance. They did a 50-point cut last September with similar inflation, by the way. But we're not expecting a 0.5 cut. We are expecting a 0.25 cut. That's got 83% chance. No change, which has been the Fed's common result when they do these meetings under the second term of Trump. That's only at a 13% chance. In essence, right now, according to Polymarket, you look at the FedWatch tool. The FedWatch tool had been more optimistic than Polymarket, sitting at around an 80 or a 90% chance of a cut even on September 17th. But the Polymarket says, betting says 86% chance of at least the 0.25 basis point cut. Maybe a 0.5, although that's only a 3% chance. They do have a meeting right before Thanksgiving, right before Halloween. And then there's a meeting, the final meeting, I believe, would be in early December. There's not one in November. We're hoping for 2 cuts. We're hoping the interest rates go down at least to 4% flat, 4.00%. Right now, they're 4.5 by the December 10th meeting, which is really when the alt season very likely will be in full swing. We have the stock market at all-time highs. We have seen a notable rebound to many of the meme coins, the low-cap meme coins. Ethereum is getting pumped again with the recent news, flirting with new all-time highs. Let's take a look at this. Recent coins trending. You do have Ethereum up 14%. And it looks like it has reached a new all-time high, at least in looking at this, and looking at what's being reported on CoinGecko, or it's basically at a new all-time high. And it says, well, no, it hasn't reached it yet. It's right below the all-time high, which was November 10th, almost 4 years ago. During that last cycle, Ethereum finally going to break that high all the way back in 2021. You look at the total market cap in crypto, it's back above $4 trillion. Taking a look at the last month, well, you know what? This is not updated. I don't think this is updated because, yeah, this is reading 3.889. Obviously, the market cap has gone up significantly of all of crypto, 6% increase. That's a huge increase. The dominance of Bitcoin sitting at 56%. Still not alt season. Still certainly not alt season yet. But we are getting closer to alt season as Bitcoin. And listen, when it comes to Bitcoin, I would imagine we're still looking at a cycle top of 170, 180K. That's where I would put it. Some people say 200. Other people say 150. You go more bearish, you say 150. You go more bullish, you say 250, maybe 225. I'll say about 180 for the cycle top for Bitcoin. So until Bitcoin going to a cycle top of 180, that's going to add another $1.52 trillion to, I guess maybe $1.5 trillion to its market cap. It'd be around $4 trillion in terms of market cap, right up there with Nvidia. That's where Bitcoin would be. And with Bitcoin, I think the 4-year cycle, not that it's certainly playing out like it should with Bitcoin, but I do think it's going to be less accurate for Bitcoin just because it's so institutionalized. With the ETFs, with all of the the volatility of it is obviously going to be more than an index fund or the S&P 500 or anything like that. But I do think there will be a little bit of a difference in terms of the 4-year cycle with Bitcoin as compared to the alts. The alts will still follow a similar pattern when it comes to the 4-year cycle. So this is really what we wanted to get. We've got a lot of these coins. You know, you look at the money pouring into Ethereum. You've got Solana up 10%, but Ethereum up 14% with a much higher market cap. That's a big figure to see the money right now pouring into Ethereum rather than Solana. Certainly Solana's performed better this cycle, but now we're starting to see the narrative of Ethereum. Now you're seeing Chainlink up 25% the last 7 days. You're seeing some of these higher cap alts do very, very well. You've got HBAR up around 9% within the last day. You have Avalanche up 10%. You've got Uniswap, the DEX, up 12% on Ethereum there. Pepe, one of the bigger memes, up around 10%. What is Shiba? Shiba up around 8%. And then you also do have, where is Dogecoin up 11%, sitting at 24 cents. I think $1 for Doge seems likely. That would mean likely over 100 billion in terms of market cap for Doge. Anything higher than that, based off of its recent price history and the amount of dilution within memes, seems not realistic. I would not invest into Doge. It's too high in market cap to make any money. Really, any of these top memes. Well, you guys already know if you see my videos. They're very low cap coins that I go into. It's very risky. There's no doubt. But yeah, this is really what we wanted to see. We wanted Powell to hint at the cuts, that we want the cuts to come. So this would be less than a month away. We might get the 0.25 cut, and you're talking about a very, very nice September if we get that. You're talking about a lot more money being introduced. You're talking about stable coins growing significantly, more Tether being minted, more USDC being minted. All of that is coming. All of that is happening right now. But think about the all-time highs in the stock market. The amount of money that people have to throw into crypto, retail is going to be foaming at the mouth. They're already investing into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already above $2 trillion, but the shift into Ethereum is happening, and we're so close to a new all-time high in Ethereum. It certainly has taken a long time in this cycle. I'm not saying Ethereum has performed remarkably well, but we are starting to get that narrative of a 2x from here is 10,000, maybe 12,000. That might be asking a little bit much, but I think that's where we're at when it comes to Ethereum. If we could get it to 12,000, it would be amazing, especially in terms of the facilitation of many of these low cap memes that are on Ethereum. I'm in coins that are mainly on Ethereum. So I would say for this right now, what we're looking at is a really, really good situation. Even with the pullback we had within the past 2 weeks, just overall, I go to CMC. CMC seems to have more metrics in terms of just looking at the overall market data. If you go to market override, right now fear and greed 46%, market cap wicks all back up. So yeah, we've gained about, I mean, you look at the coin market cap top 100 index up around 6%. Bitcoin dominance, they've got above 57%. Altcoin season right now at 50. I mean, it'll be obvious when it's altcoin season. It's not going to happen I shouldn't say anytime soon, but Bitcoin is very likely going to at least 150K. If Bitcoin goes to 250K, it's not alt season. But it signals it's coming. It signals it's very close to happening. So that's basically where we're at with alt season. It's a similar spot, but the point is, hopefully this Russian-Ukrainian war ends, although I don't know if that's happening now. We'll have to see. If it does end, that's going to be another bullish indicator. We don't need it, though, because it's already priced in. The bull run is going to happen with or without this war. Now, the only problem would be another geopolitical event breaking out. That would be the wild card that could potentially hurt this bull run that we can't predict. Now, we can say geopolitically, I'm pretty confident there's not going to be a major situation within the next few months, but you never know with Israel, Iran, China, Taiwan, although I don't think there's going to be anything with China, Taiwan. It'd be more likely with Israel, Iran. But at this situation, the way I see it, we have at least a 0.25 basis point cut on the 17th, so in less than a month. That's going to trigger some stuff. There's no doubt about it with the money flow and everything. And the fact that it happens, it's going to be very bullish. And then on top of that, we have potentially another cut upcoming, maybe in the October meeting, maybe in the December meeting, and that's just going to help the situation even more when it comes to cash flow and money flowing into cryptocurrency, new money being introduced to Ethereum finally breaking its all-time high. This is good news. The money flow to the top memes, the memes that do have active communities, it will happen, and so it's important to just hold at this point, just hold. There will be, liquidity that gets created within these coins. And I think that's the overall point. So right now, we got Powell. He said, listen, we're probably going to do it. I mean, the one caveat is, well, We're going to get another inflation reading. That's a core inflation. Let me actually look at the trueflation, although I will say the trueflation, the metric is not great in terms of they don't really look at trueflation very much at all. The Fed doesn't. It's kind of irrelevant to them. But you can see this is an aggregate. Where's the actual trueflation data? Do they really not have it? Trueflation. It's at around 2%. All right, well, that's not, I mean, it is what it is. With trueflation, it's going to factor in food and energy, so the energy is a little bit lower. I mean, the core inflation is 2.7. The trueflation is hovering around 2. The energy is down, and you would imagine food would be down if the trueflation measures lower than the core inflation. The volatility of the energy and food is why the Fed doesn't take into account trueflation. They take into account core inflation. So, but I mean, it's still bullish that trueflation is at around 2%. And by the way, it is kind of funny that this is actually a coin. It's on base. The trueflation coin. I mean, it has utility. It's interesting to see an actual up to the minute inflation reading. But either way, guys, I do think it is a very, very good time. And hopefully we get a pretty big bull run. But guys, make sure you like the video down below. That's going to do it for this one.